The room is relationships. The room is you and me and everyone in America.
What are you talking about?
The room is different cookie cutter from Hollywood.
Yeah, man, you never know. People are very strange these days.
What's going on?
Welcome to The Room Minute,
The podcast where we get obsessed with the cinematic classic The Room.
1 minute at a time.
You have no idea what kind of trouble you're in here, do you?
Why are you so hysterical?
We always wanted people actually talk about it.
I did not hit her. It's not true. It's bullshit. I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
Hello, listeners. We're here to talk about minute 97, in which the police really might be just in another floor on this building. But I'd like to start, because we're in our last week, with Entertainment Weekly, 12th December 2008. Ross Morin, then an assistant professor at St. Cloud State University, says of The Room, "It is one of the most important films of the past decade. It exposes the fabricated nature of Hollywood. The Room is the Citizen Kane of bad movies."
I was just going to say, is that where that quote came from?
Yes.
I've heard that everywhere.
Everyone got that line from him saying it to Entertainment Weekly in 2008.
Oh, hi, Robert.
Oh, hi, Luke. On his website, he says, "It's an invaluable teaching tool. I use The Room to teach screenwriting, cinematography, blocking, sound design, and, of course, feminist film theory."
So it's a big, don't do guy.
Yes. Oh, hi, Johann.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. He tells Corey Heppola at KORE11, 5th January 2018, "It is a sexist film. It is a terribly written film. It is a terribly directed film. And all the choices that are made, they're not really even just bad or terrible. They're, wrong. And it serves as an incredible teaching tool for those reasons."
I mean, he's not wrong.
Hi, Elin.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
No, he's not wrong in either of those things. I mean, I think it poses fabricated nature of Hollywood is slightly misleading in some people's context, because
I agree.
A lot of people think of it as that, he made it to be bad, and this isn't one of those movies.
I don't think so. He spent $6 million on it, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like The Neighbours was made it to be bad, and we can see...
No, The Neighbours was just, he didn't have an actual crew, so he made all the decisions. That's what The Room would look like if he directed it.
Oof.
Oh. So we're on the Sandy Schklair canon, are we?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. He's kind of a dick in the way he writes, but everything he describes seems kind of accurate as to how the film turned into what it is.
Yeah, I couldn't watch more than an episode and a half of The Neighbours. I've got the DVD.
I didn't even get past an episode.
I think I made it to the end of the episode just to make it through the end of the episode that I was done.
It's those in-between scene transitions of the CGI dinosaur is there for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't even know what it is.
Oh, it's
it's a sitcom version of what this is.
Oh. Huh.
Except it's not funny.
I'll avoid it.
That was part of the problem was when I was watching it, I didn't know what it was supposed to be. Was it supposed to be a comedy? Was it supposed to be
The Neighbours or The Room?
The Neighbours. Well, let's go with both. I didn't know if The Room was supposed to be a comedy.
I expect
No, but The Neighbours was, I don't know. I guess that is Tommy Unchained, or Unleashed.
Yeah.
But then he had a multiple episode deal, which I guess is, I don't know why someone would greenlight that.
Depending on the timing, I'd have to check again. It may be right when The Room became popular or something.
Yeah, that would make sense. I've always wondered why Tommy hasn't been invited or hasn't accepted so many drop-on roles in sitcoms.
Yeah.
I agree, but perhaps he's just really rich.
He didn't
and
care.
Doesn't really care.
Yeah. I have a feeling he's very difficult to work with.
Yeah. And egocentric. He didn't want to be involved in something he wasn't producing. The only thing I know of that he didn't control is, arguably the Disaster Artist, but he's in, a few scenes of Samurai Cop 2.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. I haven't seen it, but...
That was probably the reason he didn't do anything else, is that sucks.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe you noticed.
It had to have gotten around, how he acts on set and everything, that just, it's not worth it for just, one episode type thing.
Yeah, maybe he had some and he walked off set.
Yeah.
And so it didn't work out, or they fired it. I don't know. He's not going to tell those stories.
According to Disaster Artist, he couldn't really keep his own schedule, which would be a huge thing if you want to try and get him involved.
Now, minute 97 is the end of the movie proper.
Tragic.
We get a few shots. Denny sobbing. We get Lisa looking over at Mark, and Mark is probably on his knees for this shot because those stairs don't go anywhere. Then they return to Denny. We get... We hear sirens, so police are on the way already. And Johnny in a cruciform pose.
Did anyone call?
I wondered.
No one
You
from
called?
here, no.
Yeah, I was going to say,
you could hear
it
a
was the sound of the
gunshot
gunshot that was...
door.
Oh, yeah, true. But then the thing is, they're supposed to be in a flat,
Yeah.
which it doesn't look like an apartment or flat to me because of the staircase and things.
No.
So I don't get it.
They live above the police department.
What?
That's a working theory.
Well, we got to remember Mark's an undercover cop,
Yeah.
according to Greg. So he has his contacts.
Yeah. So this apartment's just up on the roof.
This scene, rather than being just a bad scene, is like a bad scene from a good movie. Like this is one of the scenes where if you saw this out of context with no knowledge of the room,
Yeah.
it's not necessarily a bad scene.
Right.
Like,
No.
this is fine.
They can do crying.
Yeah, and Tommy's actually really good at not breathing. Maybe Tommy is vampire.
Also, maybe Johnny is vampire. We'll see.
Maybe that's why he actually wanted to do what he wanted to
he's
do by saying he was a vampire.
It was going to be his big public confession.
I was proud of adding that in my notes. Maybe Tommy is vampire. I smiled at myself writing that. I was like, yeah.
That was
And now
good,
I've
yeah.
overdone it by explaining how proud I was. And yeah,
I'll cut out you explaining it and just insert.
but also
the
you
audio.
definitely.
Yeah,
will.
he'll cut it out. It's fine.
I know this.
The only part I will cut is me saying I will cut it.
Is everything okay? I heard a shot. I smell smoke. What's going on? It's on a cell phone. It's calling 911. Police is already coming. I hear them. Is everyone okay?
We hear voices. A woman says, "What's happening?" A man says, "Is everything okay?" She says, "I heard a shot." And I think a different man says, "Somebody fired a gun. I smell smoke."
What?
I'm not sure how he smells smoke from that. So there might also be a fire.
You wouldn't smell
What?
smoke. You smell.
I love the
sulfur.
concept that they're all just actually talking about
Yeah.
something completely different.
Yeah. The building's actually also on fire. That's why the fire trucks show up instead of police.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
And the woman says, "What's going on?" The man says something I couldn't understand, and the woman says, "Call 911. Is everyone okay?" We can already hear sirens.
It's
And she's
California.
saying-
The sirens could be from another thing.
They're for the fire next door.
Yeah.
The siren, by the way, at the end is definitely a fire truck. It is not a police car.
Huh.
You British folks might not notice because your sound different.
Yeah.
But it's a fire truck. And then we also hear an ambulance, possibly. Police should be... If someone was shot, we would get police first, and then if they were alive, we'd get a fire truck and ambulance.
Yeah.
So yeah, these sirens are all wrong. That's all from Minute 97, actually. So what really matters is, what are your thoughts on the whole film? You only...
The whole film. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. Would I watch it again? No, absolutely not. That's one
Damn,
thing.
my plans have been spoiled.
But one thing I did do is I looked on Letterboxd,
Mhm.
and they're mainly 5 stars, and I was just looking at them, and I was like, "What are you thinking?"
I'm one of those 5 stars.
Like, am I missing? I did see yours. I saw yours too, and I was looking at it, and I was like, "Am I watching this film wrong?"
That depends. What did you know about it before you watched it?
Absolutely nothing.
Okay, then
Nick
you
didn't
were
tell me
looking at it all wrong.
All I said is, as soon
Okay,
as we
okay.
started it, I said this
Okay.
will either be the best or worst film viewing experience you've ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was fun. It was.
You
fun.
could have worse.
I think
Yeah,
if you're
100%.
reading it or if you're watching it as a educational tool,
Mhm.
it ranks higher.
Yes.
Maybe. Yeah, everything not to do.
Well, and I think even in this not to toot my own horn in some part, but on this show, we've taken the movie seriously quite often
Yeah.
and talked about like the filmmaking choices, the writing choices, the acting choices. But yeah, if you expected
I don't
a
think I
regular movie, you might not have, but that's not all the weeks. Yeah, if you went into this as a regular film and expecting that, yeah, it's not going to be
No.
5 out of 5 by any means.
Absolutely not.
I think it gets credits for just being so bad it's fun,
Yes.
and I enjoyed that.
Or you can make fun of it. If you just sit and watch it,
Yeah,
someone said it in a previous episode, if you didn't go to that midnight screening or sit on the couch or whatever you do to watch it, and you just watch it by yourself, it's kind of boring.
I've seen films that are really boring and way worse than this, even though they are classed as better
Yeah.
films.
Yeah, this is one of the only bad movies that
So,
doesn't
I
like,
rate it for
lag
that.
in the middle. Like, it is consistently humorously bad.
Yeah, it does pretty well with that. Although it does have some pointless things in the middle once you watch the whole movie. But as they're happening, they're not boring.
When I watched The Room the first time, I couldn't take it. But then when I watched it with riff tracks and then really started paying attention to stuff that I shouldn't be paying attention to, then it got better.
The first real thing I saw with it was Cinema Sins. I think it was in 2013.
Yeah.
Oh, I watched that.
And then some other YouTube video had like the worst scenes from. And I watched both of those things before I watched the movie, so I knew what I was going for.
I saw clips and I saw The Disaster Artist before seeing The Room because it's very hard to come by The Room legally in the UK. Like, you know, it cost me £30 to import the DVD.
Ooh.
So, like, I wasn't going to do that for any old film. And I'm glad I did. I've still got my framed signed photo of Tommy Wiseau on my desk facing me right now.
Where did you get it?
Just from I think it was Tommy's website or The Room website. It was one or the other.
Yeah.
One of them works and
Okay.
the other one doesn't.
Where is he from?
That's the big
Where is
question.
he from?
Yeah, where is he from? Because his accent changes
Yes.
like loads.
Born, I believe, in Poland.
Did he confirm Poland?
But
yeah.
he was mostly
Okay.
lived in France, and then when he came to America, he was in New Orleans, and then moved to San Francisco. Now he lives.
But he
between,
only
like-
claimed New Orleans for years.
Yeah, for a long time he just said he was from New
I
Orleans.
have a Polish friend, and she speaks nothing like. I mean, obviously she is a female, but nothing. It's not the same accent. So I wouldn't have put Polish. So that's interesting.
It feels like the American accent or some of the other accents are forced without losing the original accent. And I think that's why it sounds so bad. It's pretty common also with like, well, I'm just going to say it because it's true. It's like Filipinos. I'm from the Philippines. When you have a relative who still has a heavy Filipino accent, but he tries to speak American, it comes off as this like god-awful forced English. And I think that's what he's trying to do.
Yeah, that makes sense. And it was kind of what you've joked about before
Yeah.
on the show, Robert, about the fact that he never uses the phrase fiancé, where it's like he's just trying to hide the fact that he had any French origin.
That he knows words that aren't English, yeah.
Yeah, it's strange. And there's so many things like that with The Room, which is why it needs rewatch, that you don't kind of realize so many times. Just these little tiny things, like how many times he says future wife, or how many times Johnny's my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Are all the actors from America, or are they all foreign?
No, they were all cast in LA, other than Greg.
So why can't they say normal sentences?
Sometimes that's a really good question. Well, if you're talking like the word choice, it's because Tommy wouldn't let them stray from the scripted line.
The script. Oh,
And if they ever did, he got mad.
Okay.
As for the way they talk, I think it's because this is actors coming to... I mean, who came to an audition for what was then called The Neighbors, which went on to be the other show? I don't want to find the original ad for like the casting for this, because maybe it was such a...
That'd be interesting.
Felt like such a low-budget, nothing picture that people didn't show up. And so you're not getting the cream of the crop of Hollywood here. No, there are a few good... I mean... People do well with what they're given. Carolyn Minot, Claudette, is great.
No emotion, though.
No. Well, she's done. Notes from a midnight screening.
Notes from a midnight screening.
There are only two for this minute. The movie's kind of ending. Someone says, "Who called the police?" when we hear the sirens. And as I already commented on the siren, someone at the end says, "Why are the fire department here?" Because that is a fire truck siren at the end.
Would they come after the smoke of a gun, though? Police first, surely.
I don't think so.
Well, if someone smelled smoke, that's what I'm saying. There's also a fire. See, that's the real ending of this film is Johnny shoots himself, but everyone else dies because the building's on fire.
Oh, everybody dies.
Yeah, but there's also no way that a gun could make that much smoke that someone in a room
I assume
below.
Tommy has never fired a gun, so he didn't know.
Yeah.
He just seen in movies that smoke comes out.
But he has a gun, though, so...
It's an airsoft.
Why did he have a gun?
It's an airsoft.
Yeah, it's an airsoft gun.
Oh.
If it's just a British thing for us,
Yeah.
that it always just feels out of place as to why do these characters have a gun.
Oh, because he's an American.
Yeah.
obviously.
I'm not saying that in a kind of weird prejudice way, but there have been a few films which I've watched where it's kind of been like, oh, he has a gun? Okay, and then I just have to forget, oh, hang on, yeah, gun laws are quite different.
Also, I don't think this makes any sense, but I always assumed that he kept, for some reason, the gun that Chris R. had. Because, I mean, it's literally the same prop, but I always assumed that's why that scene happens in the movie. I was trying to make sense of it. And there's no reason for the Chris R. scene to happen, except so we know there's a gun somewhere.
If there was a way that we saw that exchange happen, that would be the perfect use of Chekhov's gun.
Yeah. Like if we saw him go put the gun in that box.
Yeah.
So then when we see him upstairs, we know he's going to get...
He was so close to actually abiding by good filmmaking storytelling laws.
Uh-huh.
And just skims by it a little bit, which is so much better than ignoring it entirely.
But I also think that was me making sense of it, and I don't think that's the point.
Yeah, but him holding onto that gun is also just a crime.
Well, that's because they didn't call the police. They stashed him in Denny's basement.
Yeah.
See, we're going callbacks all around.
Yeah, you can't use a weapon that's used in a crime and then just hold on to it till when you need it.
I think the best part was the build-up, though, of him throwing everything off the shelves.
Oh, yeah. Throwing everything around, pulling drawers out.
How intense was that?
Very.
That was so intense.
He went full Tommy Wiseau on that.
So powerful.
Well, that's the thing in The Disaster Artist when
he did it on stage.
Cicero met him was that he was an intense actor.
Everything's intense for him. That's why even when nothing's happening in this movie, it's something bad. There's a lot of thought for that. So, in the meantime, Johann, where can people hear more from you?
I don't think any right now. I'm kind of...
You have existing shows out there, though.
Yeah, well, there's ID 4 Minute. That one's been done for quite a bit, but if you guys want to check the backlog on it, ID 4 Minute, and I was also on Roughneck Minute, which was about Starship Troopers.
And 6 previous weeks of this show.
Yeah.
Luke, how about you?
2 minutes about time and Christmas, actually. And please be seated. Never plug that. Twitter, llama_bottle0. Instagram, The Ginger Luke. Facebook, Luke Allen Film. All podcasts, radio appearances, newspaper articles, short films are all at lukeallen.co.uk.
Ellen.
Oh, okay. The only one I have to plug, so that's great. The Love Rosie Pod.
Yeah.
Facebook,
what is that?
Facebook, Twitter, and
And
Instagram.
Twitter, I
Love
think.
Rosie Pod. Yeah.
And maybe Facebook.
So there's nothing wrong when people make fun of the project, in this case, The Room.
The Room Minute is a production of Lemming Drops Studio. You can find more content at lemmingdrops.com.
Follow The Room Minute on all the obvious social media. If you've got any stupid comments after the show,
You can leave them in your pocket on Facebook. If you like what you hear, throw us a rating and a review on your podcatcher of choice. Thank you for listening, and remember, if a lot of people loved each other, the world would be a better place to live.
Leave us!